Ready?
Yep.
First question that I want to ask you is, what is your name and what is your current title?
Okay, my name is Caterina Kein, and I'm the current chair of the Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention Commission. I'm also most likely the first African-American woman to ever chair the commission in Humboldt County and possibly in any counties north of the 299. But because we're all equal, they don't take demographics, so it's very difficult to find out the ethnic distribution of commissioners.
Cool. How did you get involved in the JJDPC?
I got involved through Bill Daniels, who was the former chair, and I sat on the board of Food for People Together, which is the local food bank for Humboldt County. But I've always had a passion for juvenile justice. I was labeled a bad kid. I'm a high school dropout. I went to community college, then I was able to go to a prestigious undergrad program at the University of British Columbia. And it wasn't easy, and it wasn't without mentorship and community members behind me all the way. As a person of color, I think it's easy to get labeled and pigeonholed into a certain statistic, so I wanted to make sure that other people like me had opportunities, so it's very important to me to fight for disadvantaged and high-risk youth. I'm also a court-appointed special advocate, or CASA advocate, which in other states is known as a guardian ad litem, and I also sit on the Multi-Agency Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council with Chief Bill Damiano.
Okay, cool. What exactly is the JJDPC, and what do you know about its history?
So we're two commissions. Most counties have a juvenile justice commission. We're a juvenile justice and delinquency prevention commission. All counties in California are state mandated to have one. We're kind of an arm of the Superior Court of California, and we're court-appointed officers, so we're sworn in by a judge. The mission, I'm not sure all of the history. There's a long history about JJDPCs and JJCs, but kind of the future goals right now are a JJC alliance that's happening. Every county has very different ways in which juvenile justice commissions operate. For us, the chief of probation makes our budget. For other counties, it's judges. We have a budget of $1,000. Sonoma County has a budget of $12,000. So there's no real consistency with how these commissions are operating. So one of the major future projects that we're working is creating a JJC alliance where we streamline our goals, cross-collaborate, and cross-communicate across counties and figure out what our common goal across the state of California is.
Cool. How do you think has the JJDPC benefited youth in the community?
So we are definitely, we work with a lot of the community stakeholders, from private sector like Teen Court to public sector like Humboldt County Office of Education, Department of Health and Human Service. We're an oversight committee, which means, and we're a public meeting, so we're governed by the Brown Act, which means community members can come to us and speak to us about their concerns directly, and they can speak directly to judges. Currently our presiding judge is Judge Joyce Heinrichs. They can come and speak to our supervisor directly. Our current supervisor that comes is Supervisor Mike Wilson, and the probation chief, and talk about, share their grievances, share their successes with the community. We advocate for those youth, but one of our largest roles, which I'm sure Commissioner Frank talks about, is inspections of any facility where juveniles are held in. So we go into the juvenile hall, the regional facility. If a youth were to be held in a county jail or holding before court, we would inspect all of those facilities to make sure that juvenile offenders were not being placed next to adult offenders and not be put into situations where violence could have been avoided, or other gang initiations or cross-contact with adult offenders. We also advocate for restorative justice programs like Teen Court, and one of our advocacy work that we do a lot with is the Humboldt County Transitional Youth Collaborative, also known as HCTAC, And we're really working with transitional age youth between 18 and 26 that are often considered adults by the system, but don't necessarily always have the tools to be so-called adults and are often at a heavy disadvantage financially and educationally and lack the tools for success.
Okay. And what would you like to see the JJDPC do in the future?
I would love to see us do a State of the Youth address, similar to a State of the Union address. I would like to see our district attorney speak with the chief of probation, the leaders of Child Protective Service and Child Welfare Service, and have them do a panel discussion with our community in a town hall meeting, as well as other private sector stakeholders like HCTC, Teen Court, Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and have the community be able to have direct access to talk about the needs of youth in our community. One of our upcoming projects is we're going to be traveling to Hoopa. We just traveled to Redway, and so we're going to be working with the tribal communities more closely to make sure that those youth are not being left behind. And I would also like to recruit more commissioners of color and recruit more youth and youth of color. It's one of the few commissions in the state of California that you can be on as young as the age of 15. And so it's a youth accessible commission. It's a leadership opportunity for youth, and we'd really like to have that strong youth voice.
Okay, cool. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Anything
much.
else you'd like to add, or?
No, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.